First of all, on behalf of the Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi Society, which was established over 30 years ago in England, I would like to say thank you and thank you and thank you to the organizers of this conference, the first of its kind in Istanbul and Damascus together, a collaboration which is evidence of a new breath, a new spirit in the world. And I'm honored to have the opportunity to address this distinguished gathering. I know that many of you were expecting William Chittick to speak about the wisdom of animals, as it is in the program. So this is another view of the wisdom of animals, entitled, O Marvel. This refers to the famous lines of Ibn Arabi's poem, O marvel, a garden amidst the flames. My heart has become capable of all forms. When I first started to think about writing this, I came across a very curious item on the BBC website. On the 14th of December last year, at the remarkable age of 116, a humble man in the Ukraine, who was said to have been the oldest living person in the world, passed away peacefully in his sleep. His life had bridged the whole of the 20th century. When he was born in March 1891, the Austro-Hungarian Empire was still in power in Europe, a rival to the Ottoman, a far cry from modern democracies. Perhaps more telling than the political structures, the average life expectancy at that time in Europe was less than 50. In modern European countries, it's nearly 80. When he was born, Europe's population amounted to 25% of the world, 1 in 4. The world population as a total was just over 1.5 billion. When he died last year, estimates of world population were 4 times as much, just over 6.5 billion. 2/3 of the world's current population live in just 17 countries. The 17th place, incidentally, is Turkey. According to conservative estimates, 1/10 of the population of humankind is living on the planet today. This expansion of human beings on the planet is not simply completely unprecedented, but according to all the experts, looks set to continue every year. There are 70 to 80 million people born and extra in the world every year. That is the equivalent of a country the size of Turkey. According to some people, by the year 2050, within the lifetime of many people in this audience, there will be 9 billion people living on the planet. I'm mentioning these staggering figures to give us all a sense of perspective on the changes that are taking place in our world and the challenges that lie ahead for everyone. What are we to make of these figures? Do they fill us with a sense of alarm, of foreboding, of fear? Does it make us think of human greed, wastefulness, conflict? Or does it make us think of the ways in which people are increasingly cooperating with each other in terms of trade, medicine, travel? Do we welcome these aspects of modernity, or do we reject them? In 1798, Malthus predicted that the food supply would be unable to keep up with population growth. And yet, in the last half of the 20th century, world grain production increased by 250%. The scientific and technological changes that have swept the globe in the last 20 years, electronic communications, internet, medical advances, and so on, are also testament to the profound capacity of human beings to overcome apparently insurmountable obstacles. The development economist Jeffrey Sachs refers to the current time as the age of convergence, where it is feasible to extend the high standards of living enjoyed by few rich countries to every country, where poverty could be eradicated, where economic development and advanced technology and medicine could become a worldwide phenomenon. This is the mark of our era. As population has grown, societies have become increasingly complex and specialized until we now enter an era of globalization in which systems of governance, law, culture, and thought are converging with all the problems that that entails. There is no doubt at all that the world we study in our history books is no longer the one that surrounds us. The challenges we face today are not the ones that our predecessors had to contend with. At the recent Bali conference on climate change, Al Gore recently said, "We, the human species, face a planetary emergency." Planetary, not national. He cited one example. The entire polar ice cap will disappear in 5 to 7 years, according to the most recent forecasts. And to show how wrong we can be, until very, very recently, it was believed we had until 2050. It is little wonder then that the term which has been used for this era by the Nobel Prize-winning scientist Paul Crutzen is the Anthropocene, the age of mankind. Human beings have taken hold not only of the economy and the population dynamics, but even of the Earth's physical systems. We are living in a time when the human species is the most significant organ of transformation on the planet. Human activity is affecting natural cycles, and all other creatures are having to adapt or perish. At the same time, our ability to understand what is involved in this control, our ability to take responsibility, has lagged far, far behind our capacity to create these conditions. It is as if we are seated on Solomon's throne without the benefit of any of his wisdom. There are many different reactions to these facts. The imminent environmental catastrophe is a product of human selfishness, according to some. Perhaps it is even human nature. So, the argument goes, wouldn't it be better if human beings simply disappeared from the face of the planet? The whole natural world would be better off.